And there's this talent pool that's coming out that's blowing my fucking mind.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that I mean, I think you hit it on the head because of the internet and YouTube, now Instagram. I think it's literally anything that you want to learn is accessible just by like typing it up. And I think with the younger generation, these kids that are growing up with it, I think kids are naturally, they're just sponges, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they can learn anything. And the kids are the ones that are the fearless ones. So they're going to try that crazy air flare thing, fall on their head, and get up and do it again. If I try that fall up, I'm done, dude. Like there's no way I'm even attempting that again. But I think with combining, the resources of YouTube, the internet, with these kids that are just down to learn and be sponges, they are getting information faster, more accessible, and they could look up other people who do it differently. So they have this variety now of just offering, and then they can now take it into a dance studio. Because with us too, we didn't have any dance studio. We're doing it in our garage, in our living room floors. So we just have limited space, limited resources. But now I think with internet, what it is, people are becoming super talented at a very younger age than before. Because I think even during the time when I was growing up, there were child prodigies, but it was that one kid from that one area, and then he was just like so famous. But now,
like Kid David, like he was the dude. I remember watching Kid David. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? He was super fucking young. But there's not to take away from Kid David, but there's a lot of Kid Davids now. Like where
for sure.
Young people that are on his level of talent. And he at the time, like I just remember watching him like, this fucking guy's crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's unreal.
Yeah.
It's just the dance scene is such a crazy thing. I think like one of the things too that I do see a lot though, specifically from I talk to a lot of dancers, they kind of see this thing where kids will emulate a lot, but they're not getting their own style. And that's also the positive and the detriment of it, right? So I see a lot of kids who I'm like, I know that dance because I saw Mike do that.
Yeah.
Or I saw Ben do that. Or I saw fucking Phil do this. I'm like, yeah, you're just like a kind of like, damn, what the fuck? Somebody getting arrested right now? Fucking up my podcast.
It's real out in these streets of Glendale,
Some Armenian dude is robbing some poor little Korean lady.
Oh, man, please.
But yeah, they kind of like, they sample a lot, which is great. I think as a great foundation. I just sometimes see a lot of stuff repetitive where they're not doing their own thing, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's the cool part where you get to see somebody who's, you dance, but you don't dance. You know what I mean? So I kind of start to wonder, like, when motherfucker, if this cop doesn't arrest me, this fool's just going around in a circle, like a cartoon character.
Don't you know we're recording? Come on.
Yeah, but I feel like sometimes, like I see some of these dancers and I'll like kind of glaze over it. It's like the same concept with YouTube. A lot of people have the same content because people are picking what everybody else does, but they're not improving on it.
Yeah.
And I see that sometimes with dance.
Yeah. I think that's so funny because I think, back in the day, you would catch something, you would see somebody do something, and like more than likely you're not going to have it accessible on this portable device where you can just watch the crap out of it and learn it to the T. You might have seen it once or twice, and then you take it home, and then you do what you think it was. Because at the end of the day, that's how anyone learns. You're going to see somebody do something, it's like, I want to learn that, and then you learn it the way that you think it's done. And I think a lot of originality from back in the day came from kind of almost by mistake. You kind of doing something in a way that you think it's supposed to be done, but you actually tweak it somehow different because you're your own person. You're not going to be able to literally regurgitate something you saw once. And then, someone will see, like, yo, that's an interesting take, like on a windmill. Like, like now you're doing it with like your arms tucked in. Like, what's that? Like, I was like, all right, that's how you're supposed to do it, And then like people take that and it just evolves, you know what I mean? But I think, you said it with kids now, they'll see something and they, again, it starts with wanting to emulate, but because it's so easily, I can rewind it as much as I want and be like, where did his left hand go at that time or whatever? They literally can become, literally mimic something. And I think, that's something that, and I don't think you can fault anybody for that because they're just having fun. They're doing it because it's fun. But like, I think as, people who are, kind of have been in this game, I think that's why people emphasize be original. You know what I mean? It's okay to start somewhere and even learn something the way that it was done from somebody, but then take that and then like inject yourself into it and see how you can evolve
Because
that.
the hard part is like I even see this with music or any type of art nowadays. Yo, back in the day, if you were a fucking biter, you got called out for
Yeah,
that shit.
yeah,
And people are like, well, let them. Like, this is the phrase I hate the most: is let them just live. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, we have two separate definitions of let them just live.
Yeah.
I understand, let them just live, let them have fun.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with that is that when it comes to art, is that when you steal somebody's art, you're actually stealing a piece of their originality and their soul. You know, like the point and the sweat and tears that it took for them to get this thing,
Yeah.
you didn't have to go through that fire to get to where they're at, and you just took it.
Yeah.
Now, mind you took it and you gave credit. That's a completely different story because I know it's like some people go, well, why do they need credit? They just did it for the art, right? No, but you're taking a piece of their hard fucking work.
Yeah.
And even just saying, hey, I learned it from this guy, it makes them feel better because it shows that what they did wasn't for naught, right? Because let's say you did something and then you got more famous off of what they created. That's great for you, but you're not giving respect where it's due. And that's a part of the art. There's a little bit of narcissism to it, you know? Like, you can't deny that shit.
Yeah.
You want to be recognized for your fucking hard work, and that's anybody and everybody.
Yeah.
So when people allow this whole biting thing and they're just like, oh, well, it's okay. Like, why? You know, a lot of people who do that shit are also people who are fucking talentless. They go, oh, biting is okay because you want it to be okay so you could fucking do it too.
Yeah.
And that's what I hate. It's like, pay homage and pay fucking respect.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think this is like a great topic because I think people have opinions on that, right? Like, what is biting and what is inspiration and all of that. And I think there's a fine line there. But just what you said, crediting the people that you know have taught you or that you're inspired by, and I think it doesn't always even have to be like, oh, this person personally taught me. He's like, no, I watched this person on YouTube or I saw this here and then I thought that was dope. And so like, shout out blah, blah, blah for doing whatever. And, you know, this is where I've been inspired by, and then you take it somewhere else. And so I think the crediting side is definitely, you know, like, yeah, that's very important in terms of, because I think at the end of the day, yeah, you're making someone who created it or maybe kind of, you know, was a part of the origination of something, like, feel better. It's like, yo, that's what's up, man. You shouted me out. Like, thank you. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people that are kind of in this space that kind of have grown up through the pre-internet and we're kind of doing it on that garage kid level, and then internet popped up. And we, like, you know, like, I would say I'm from that generation because, yeah, I was doing this before YouTube and any of that. And then I kind of caught up late to all this stuff. I'm like, what is this YouTube thing that everybody's talking about? And I'm like, yo, there's a lot of stuff out there. And, you know, even from the days from Jabberwockies and, like, you know, there were crews like in Asia, like Philippines and stuff, that were literally ripping. You know,
dude, I saw that
with
shit
with the mask and the whole thing,
the routine.
Yeah,
I'm
the
like,
routine.
what the fuck?
And yeah, it pissed people off because it's like, yo, these guys are literally on TV in the Philippines, like, getting paid off of this stuff, and Jabberwocky's still over here trying to figure it out, trying to make it, you know. So I think in that context, that whole thing was
putang in a biter, dude. That's what you are, putang in a biter, you piece of shit. Fuck you, you motherfucker. I swear to God, I'd fucking kill you, you fucking son of a bitch. I saw that shit, dude. I remember when that shit came out, I was like, what the fuck? At least try. At least try to make it some, like, even a little bit. They didn't even try.
Yeah.
They literally took it and they were making money off of your guys' hard work. And that shit was so fucking irritating.
Yeah.
You know, and there were certain comments that are like, well, they're doing it just as good, so what's the problem? I was like, people who say that are ones who want to steal and be okay with it too. You want to be able to steal and say, like, well, they did it too. Because if you were somebody who had just a little bit of just decency, you would never write something like that.
Yeah.
Because you would know how hurtful it is to work that hard and somebody to take your artistry. That shit is, it sucks. You know, when I was on YouTube, there was this kid back in the day. I think I fucking roasted this kid. Like, he literally took the videos that I was doing and just put it on his own channel and just changed his name. And I was like, those are my exact jokes. I was like, what
That's
the
wild.
fuck?
Yeah.
And I roasted this guy and he deleted all those videos.
Mhm.
But there was a couple of comments that were like, well, he's making people laugh. What's the problem? And I'm like, see, and you are the exact type of shit
Mm.
that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like, now, albeit when I had these videos back in the day, they were like failed stand-up bits. So I just put it in vlogs.
Right.
So I was like, it might be funny to some people I don't really know, but at the end of the day, it's still mine.
Mhm.
And even if you gave me credit, you still shouldn't use it because he's making money off of my work. So as I was working this on a stand-up stage and it was bombing and I had to go through that embarrassment and
Right.
then put it on this video, you're taking and you're making money off my work. Like, fuck that shit, dude.
Mm.
Like I know some people might think that's petty, but it's not. It's hard work.
No, I agree. I agree. And I think that's the thing. It's, I mean, well, at least, I mean, not to say that it was good or okay because he credited you, but I mean, at least there
He
was.
didn't credit me.
Oh, he didn't credit you.
Oh, I found out.
Oh, yeah.
I
So then
found
you
out through
suck,
fans.
bro.
They're like, "Yo, this guy's stealing your shit."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, I think inspiration is taking something that that you dig, that you vibe with, but you have to flip it. You have to inject something else into it in order for it to be your own thing. Because at the end of the day, I mean, you can't reinvent the wheel like 10 times over. I mean,
Oh, for sure.
it's
Yeah.
already there and everything's been done already. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
Any, from a joke to a dance move to, a song, someone's gonna start something and that is gonna, like, it's gonna spin off into something else that looks or sounds or kind of feels like that, but there's something different about that. And I think that's why art's beautiful, because I think you can see how something can start somewhere and then evolve into this. And even if you look at, art movements in like painting and stuff like that, there was all these different things that these artists were doing, and they would look at that and then they would take that and go do something else. So that's why there's so many genres from visual arts to music to comedy and all that. I think that's the beauty of it, and it's dope to be able to see something like, dang, that's tight. It kind of feels like this or looks like that, but they took it here, and then it becomes this game that I feel like keeps art going. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's dope about it.
Yeah, just to clarify for other people, not everybody's going to be that person that's going to be able to take that and then evolve it into something else. I think that should be a goal, and that's something that people should attempt. Like, I think my biggest issue is when you take it and then you say that you didn't get it from anywhere. It's like, oh shit, talk about a slap to the fucking face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like if you're up there and then people ask you, oh, I just fucking figured it out myself.
Yeah.
No, you fucking did.
Yeah.
Give credit where credit's due. Like,
Totally.
people talk about like, you're right, especially in comedy. I see similar stand-up bits all the fucking time. All the fucking time. All the same jokes about marriage, relationships, whatever. But their twist is how they experienced it in their relationship or how they experienced it through their lens.
Sure.
So yeah, it's technically the same joke, but not really at the same time. And that's the way that you innovate it. And some people might have an argument where they go, okay, well, give me an example of that in dance. This is my favorite example. Like, I see three people that I know that dance, not the same, but they kind of had that same swag, but it's same and different, right? So it's that kid Schizo and the Les Twins. They have a similar vibe, specifically the way they dance, the way they hit beats, the way they groove. It's very similar, right? But it's so fucking different at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think that's where people can see. If you guys don't know who these people are, like in the dance scene, check it out, and you'll see what I mean. Like, their groove is very similar, but they're completely different dancers. And that's an example of innovation and just kind of having your own style to it. And that kid Schizo's fucking insane. Dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, when I saw him dance, I was like, who the fuck is this kid? He's super young too, isn't he?
Yeah.
Fuck, where's he from?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where he's from.
He dances. I think he dances in Vegas, right, or something like that. I think he's like in the Michael Jackson show or some shit like that. But the kid's fucking insane.
I mean, the Twins were in the Michael Jackson show too, which is